All right. Finally. Something's working right so far, it seemed like. Or is it possible that I'm just messed up and forgot? All right, is that better now? Oh, it is one of those days already. So on my bed, computer issues a couple times this morning already. Just crazy. So today's Saturday. I mean, it's a weekend morning meeting for just to see what's going on, well, what's people are having trouble with, whether it's diet or anything. It doesn't matter. But I'm here to lend a hand to anybody. And Jeff is already in the meeting. Good morning, Jeff. How are you today? It's nice to see you this morning. How's your weekend going so far? And can you tell me, is it working all right on here? Because I can't pull up my other screens because this dang computer is giving me hell this morning. Oh, let's see what else we got here. It's still, but oh, there's been a lot of stuff that's going on last week. Well, what day was it? I don't remember now. The 17th, Tuesday, February 17th, I ended up having a tooth extracted, which, it's one of those things that is just amazing not to have that. I really hate teeth. It's, I don't like dentists. Dentists are always hard for me to deal with. I'd rather not ever go to a dentist. But sometimes you have to. And I ended up having to go this time. So it's not something I wanted to do. But I did end up going to the dentist. I did end up going in because I had I went in for a tooth on my left side or my right side here that was, it broke and it's got a really sharp piece on it. And I wanted that fixed. That's what the appointment was for, is the initial appointment for that. And on Sunday, 15th, I ate a piece of jerky and I broke a tooth on the other side. And when that broke, it got infected, got abscessed like really fast. Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking too. Is my audio's breaking up a little bit. Uncle Willie says, I'm here. We can start now. Well, good thing I waited for you, Uncle Willie, because it's been one of those Saturday mornings already. I say Sunday, and I shouldn't have been saying that. So has it improved any at all? I had a window open that wasn't even for my browser or anything, but I know it was taking resources from the computer. So I closed that out. So did that work? Is it sounding any better now? And let's see. Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was just thinking that I have a granddaughter that's performing in dance competition in Wyoming, a couple states away in a different time zone. And there's a live link that we have that we can watch it. And she should be coming on any moment. And I was trying to watch it. So, I might have to miss it. Because it's amazing that she's, well, guess what? This may be just like 1 minute where it's going to be choppy again. but she's actually dancing right now. And last weekend, she was in the competition here in North Dakota, back down in Bismarck, and she did her first solo dance, and she took first place. She's just 10 years old, and she's absolutely amazing when she dances. And it just got over. But she did the same dance just now. Got the last 30 seconds of it, and I just closed that back out. So that is amazing. Love watching her dance. I've never seen her dance until we went down there last week and watched. So she's been doing it for a number of years. She's only 10, and she's really good at it. That was pretty cool. Yeah, Uncle Willie, YouTube has been glitching out, and StreamYard, the software I'm using right now to go onto X, Rumble, and YouTube, has been having trouble doing stuff too. It says that they had a little notice saying that I may have trouble getting on with X, and if I am, then I can go a different way to do it. And I didn't have to. I checked on X also, and it worked out. It's on there, so I don't get many comments from people on X. I do see that there are people on here. As I can look at the little view, it shows I have 7 people on YouTube watching. It doesn't show my Rumble people, like Uncle Willie on Rumble, but it does show I have 3 people on X watching, and that's one of those things. But not every once in a while I'll get somebody from X that will comment and it'll show up on here, but not very often. You hate the back of Forrest Whitaker's neck. Why? Hey, good morning, Heather. Yeah, go granddaughter. They're so amazing. And I'm actually looking at, I haven't been doing a lot of videos here in the last couple weeks. I decided to go back to my carnivore basics here this last week because when I had that tooth pulled, I had an abscess in it. And to help with the abscess, of course, I got put on an antibiotic. And the antibiotic that I got put on, I've had before, and I have always had extremely bad digestive, intestinal distress because of that antibiotic. Like, usually by the second day, I have disaster pants. It's just terrible. And the last time I was put on, somebody said you should try it with cottage cheese. You take your dose with a serving of cottage cheese, and that helps eliminate the distress of it. So I did that with this. I recently discovered that I can handle a 4% cottage cheese now and then. So I figured, why not? 14 pills over 7 days, half a cup of cottage cheese with each one. It should be all right? Oofta. Cottage cheese in moderation, I can do. Cottage cheese on a daily basis, I cannot do. It does not work out well for me. One of the things I have with dairy is my sinuses. They get extremely plugged up, and I get a lot of mucus. Day 4, 5, 6, and 7, I was plugged up a lot. And I knew what it was from. I knew it was from the dairy. It's all clear. It's not an infection because I'm on an antibiotic. I know I didn't catch a cold or anything. And on top of that, after taking that for 7 days and eating cottage cheese for 7 days, I gained 6 pounds in 7 days, which is, I kind of expected to gain a little bit. I was still only eating OMAD outside of the cottage cheese. I was eating my evening meal. I'd have the cottage cheese in the morning with my antibiotic, and then I'd have cottage cheese at night with my antibiotic and with my meal. and I gained 6 pounds in 7 days. So I decided to go back to my carnivore basics, the way I started to begin with: beef, butter, bacon, eggs, salmon, and shrimp. I lived on that for the first 90 days. I did carnivore, and it's amazing. My body does really well on it. So that's where I'm going back to. You wish you could dance. Nobody wants to see that, Uncle Willie. Yeah, me too. I'm the same way. I got two left feet. And actually, that's how where I met my wife was at country music night. And I was on the dance floor doing a line dance. She walked into the bar that we were at, and I saw her walk in the door. I walked off the dance floor and started talking to her. She came in with some of her friends, and I couldn't even tell you who they were. I never saw any of them. All I saw was her, and we've been together ever since. Oh, Heather. Question. Super stressful month with work. And when I went to the doctor yesterday, my blood pressure is up again. Doctor wants me back on meds. Oof. Will fasting help? In my experience, it will. I have used fasting, and I strictly watch what I eat. The higher fat foods, the higher fat ground beef, the higher fat meats like ribeye or chuck roast and stuff like that will help tremendously. And it's about eliminating the inflammation, eliminating the stress. Walking after work, yeah, I completely understand that because I went through some extremely stressful periods here this past couple of months at work too, where I was really worried about whether I was going to have a job or not at the end of the day. And I expressed that to my boss a couple of times because it wasn't my boss I was worried about; it was his boss. But I I went through that myself, and when that was something that was going on, I was fasting, and my blood pressure stayed great. So I know being in a higher state of ketosis helps for me anyway. And but exercise, just getting out and walking makes a big difference too. At that time, I was walking on my treadmill at night too. So I'd walk a mile or mile and a half at night on my treadmill just to help to relieve the stress because just getting out there and moving it helps. Yeah, Rumble uses its own services based in Canada. And there's a different way that you have to go on to get Rumble to work with StreamYard to be able to broadcast on that at the same time with everything else. It's totally different. And like on YouTube, I can set it up for weeks at a time for the live streams. On Rumble, you have a 24-hour period that you can set it up for. You can only do one at a time. You can't have two of them set up on there. What in the freak turnout is happening on the vertical side because you can read chat? You can never read chat in that version. I don't know. Is the chat not up there? See, on my screen, it shows the chat's right above my head. Yeah. By the way, good morning, Jester. How are you doing today? Well, that's the next one down, too. The root infection eliminated. Probiotics installed by dairy patch update. Tooth extracted. Microbiome restored. Yeah, it's a good idea there. Like that. That's about what happened. That the dairy did help and did do its job in more than one way, right? The main uh, purpose of dairy is to make whatever animal is eating in it fat. Dairy is meant for the calf, and it's meant to fatten the calf up quickly so it can grow. That's what I did. I got fattened up quickly, and it didn't take much dairy to do it either. 6 pounds of water weight and inflammation. Yes, and that's what I was thinking too. Is it's mostly a water weight, and I can tell I haven't like my pants size didn't change. I still have they still fit the same, and It's nothing really. It's not really a big deal, but getting back to the basics of just a strict carnivore diet will help that water weight go away. And after I did my 7-day fast at the start of February, my low weight was down to 207. And since then, I had gained 3 pounds of that back. So I got back up to 210, and that's kind of where I was expecting to stay. And then when I was eating the cottage cheese, I got back up to 216. And I'm back down to 215 this morning. So I know it's coming off, and it's just going to take a little bit more time. Holy crap. You walked 19 miles on Thursday? New record? That's more than I've ever walked in a day. That is a lot. Yeah, Heather, and I do too. I really prefer to get out and walk. I hate staying on the treadmill. Yeah. See, I'm still having issues. I always have an issue when I start talking in here, drinking hot coffee and talking, and then my nose starts to run. But I want to get outside and walk because it's so much better when I can go outside. And I actually recently picked up a weighted vest so I can walk with weights. And it goes up to 40 pounds, and I actually have just 20 pounds in it right now because I took half of it out. I don't want to walk with that much extra weight. I wore it twice now with the 40 pounds in it, and holy crap. Yeah, I've lost a lot of weight. Total, well, on carnivore, I've lost 128 pounds total. My overall weight loss, I've lost 140 pounds. Just putting that weight vest on with 40 pounds, holy crap. It really affects your joints, my ankles, my knees. I can feel it just walking around in the house or walking for 20 minutes on the treadmill with that extra 40 pounds on. It was a tremendous difference on how my body felt. So when I do go out and walk, I'm going to start out with just the 20 pounds and work my way up to a 40 pound. I have to make sure I have a lot of good collagen and fat to help lubricate my old bones and joints so that I don't have pain. You thinking about getting a Keto Mojo? I tell you, one of the things that I have found with the Keto Mojo is it does become addicting to use it. And it's expensive too because those test strips aren't cheap. I generally use the Keto Mojo when I'm just fasting. Other than that, I do wear a CGM too, so I keep track of my glucose, which is kind of boring for me because my glucose ranges from 90 to about 113, and it just, it's kind of that big of a window that my glucose runs in. It's kind of a boring graph. But when I do fasting, then it drops down. Then my ketones go up, and it's nice to be able to track your ketone when you're doing fast, stuff like that. Other than that, like day to day eating as a carnivore, eating one meal a day. When I wake up in the morning, my ketones are generally between 0.3 and 0.6. And in the afternoon before I eat, they'll be like 0.7 to 1.5. And there's really no rhyme or reason why some days that are higher. So I eat basically the same stuff every day, the same amount of fat, same calories. Some days it's just better. And I think a lot of that has to do too and I've thought this for quite a while since I've had my CGM, that sometimes the fat that I'm burning for my energy has more sugar in it. It's sugary fat, so it more glucose or whatever that's stored in it. And that's why my blood sugars go up, because of the fat, the way it's being processed and what it was made of. Jessica says normally there'd be one person on that version. It would be 6 on horizontal. Yeah. Yeah. And that's what sucks about the one thing that this streamer shows is just YouTube. It doesn't show me which one is which. So unless I pull up the screen and actually look at it, and then my feed starts cutting out, I just can't tell. Never mind, ignore you. Oh, is it working the way you thought it would or not? See, no, I actually have my work phone here. I could actually pull this up on my work phone. That's not connected at all. You know, last thing on my work phone here was Larry. Oh, yeah. Oh, let's see. Oh, let's. Well, there's one way. I can see myself now on my work. Showing that way. Let's see. And for whatever reason on this phone here, it just doesn't show my channel very well. I don't like these iPhones. I just don't care for them. So I'll put that back over here and ignore that part, but I'm gonna ignore myself, okay? Just because Uncle Willie says I do 220 push-ups with a 20-pound weight vest. Walking with it makes my back hurt, but push-ups don't. See, I had shoulder surgery on my shoulder back in the early 2000s. I took a fall and chipped a bone and tore some cartilage on my shoulder and had to have that scoped out. Ever since then, I still have not gotten back. It just has never come back. I have less pain in it now than I used to, but it's still there and it still bothers me. And yeah, but 220 push-ups with a 20-pound vest. I have a hard time doing push-ups anymore. I used to do them, and I didn't mind doing push-ups, but I just the range of motion to do a push-up now with the way my arm or my shoulder was done and the way it healed, it hurts to do a push-up. It really does. And I still have tight muscles right back here that have never gone away from it, and it's been over 22 years since I had that surgery. Excuse me, 24 years now since I had the surgery. I still have not gotten full range of motion back on that. And I started talking about this a little bit ago. Had some life stuff happen this week. That was part of it was the antibiotic, gained some weight from the cottage cheese, and I'm going back to my carnivore basic diet that I started. And it's beef, butter, bacon, eggs, salmon, shrimp. That's what I started my carnivore diet on, and I had great success on it. I still have great success. My weight is still coming off. It's just not coming off as fast as I want, but it's just coming down. And that my blood pressure staying normal, which for me is the whole reason I started this carnivore diet and this carnivore way of life, was to control my blood pressure. And I've heard a lot of people talking recently about FOMO, the fear of missing out. And it got me to think that's actually what I use to be successful. I use FOMO to my advantage. Not only this time, but the last time I did weight loss stuff back in 2012 to 2016, I used FOMO back then. I didn't know what it was, and I really didn't realize it until I started thinking about it the other day. But I use FOMO to help me to lose weight, to get into a better health. Now, FOMO, what is it? Fear of missing out. People use the fear of missing out as reasons why they can't do the diet, why they can't uh, continue on it. And I use it as the reason why I do it. And what do I mean by that? It's really simple. I have the fear of missing out of watching my kids become adults. Well, they are adults. I have the fear of missing out on their lives as adults now. I have the fear of missing out of watching my grandchildren grow up and become amazing people. They already are. I have the fear of missing out of growing old with my amazing wife. That's why I've changed my diet. That's why I've changed my lifestyle. That's why I've come off of 5 blood pressure medications. That's why I've lost 120 pounds in the last 18 months. I have the fear of missing out with my family. I want to be here. I want to watch them grow up. I want to watch them grow old. And I want to grow old with my amazing wife. Uncle Willie says 11 sets of 20 with 4 minutes between sets. Holy crap, that's not a lot of time to recover on that. That's amazing. It's actually very inspiring. I might have to try to start doing something like that. Maybe not 20. Maybe I'll do 10. 10 sets of 10. 5 minutes in between. Set a timer. That might be something I can do. You're on a mission to stop all meds and fire your doctors. Yeah, it's an amazing mission, and I wish you the best of luck there, Uncle Willie, because I haven't seen my doctor since she helped me come off of my last blood pressure medications. The last 2 blood pressure medicines that I was on, it was a maximum dose of losartan and then a maximum dose of HCTZ. I think that's what it is. It's a water pill that they use to help you shed water when you have high blood pressure, because they want you eating carbohydrates, which causes you to retain water. It's actually in the name. But to get off of both of those, I actually went to the doctor and let her know that I came off with 3 of them on my own and how I did it and what I did. And then she helped me wean off of those. She took the water pill out of the losartan and still left it as a max dose. Then I went off the losartan as my blood pressure started to drop. I cut it in half. And then when my blood pressure started to drop again, I stopped taking it. My blood pressure came back up for a couple of days and I took it again. And then I stopped after that. And I've been medication free since, which is absolutely amazing. You have that attitude also, not being a burden also. Yeah. And Jeff, I was 347 pounds at my heaviest that I saw. And I do believe that even at that weight, I had lost some from my heaviest. I know at some point I was probably 360 or 370. I was huge. I was looking back at some pictures and you can see in my face how huge my face was, how round it was. I mean, I was way out there with my cheeks. I did not look good. I can't believe I let myself get to that point. I mean, even if you look at these pictures here, you see how big my belly was. You can tell I wasn't in a good place there. And the picture on the left there, I mean, holy cow, that guy is big. Now, between these two pictures here, the picture on the right, I was like 250 or something like that. So you can imagine what I was on the left there. I'm really sure that was well over 350 on that picture. But imagine if something happened to me. There's no way my wife's going to be able to help me move. No way she's going to be able to help me do anything. At 347, 350 pounds, there's absolutely no way. And the way I was feeling, I'm amazed I didn't have a heart attack. I'm amazed I didn't have a stroke. Just so many things could have gone wrong in that time that I was that big. And the only good part about it, that I can actually say the only blessing for me about that, is it wasn't that long. In 2012 to 2016, I used to do Insanity. Oh, I did all of Shaun T's workouts. He's an amazing trainer. He has some amazing videos. And you get a workout from home, so it's privacy of your own home. I don't have to deal with people at a gym, which is amazing. I don't like being in that kind of a setting anyway. But my lowest weight then was 212 pounds. And I was actually really fit. And that's when I had heart issues. That's when my heart started going into AFib, and I couldn't get a reading on a chest strap before I was doing a workout. And that's where I found out that I had AFib. And I went through all that. I had surgery, and they took me off of everything I was doing that I thought was healthy at the time, which were the Beachbody workouts, and they took me off the diet I was eating, which was mostly a plant-based diet. They wanted me back on just a standard American diet. I went from 220 pounds seeing the cardiologist to 250 pounds when I had my surgery. And that was just a few months off, And then after my surgery, I had anxiety really bad, and I never went back to doing my workouts. So I never started losing weight again. I never got back into it, and I just kept getting bigger and bigger. I went to the chiropractor because my back was out one day, and it had been a while since I'd seen that chiropractor, so they did the intake rate, where they do your blood pressure and all that stuff. And my blood pressure was a little bit high. Now, at the time, I was taking allergy medication that had the decongestant in it. So that decongestant is known to cause blood pressure to be elevated. So when the doctor told me that my blood pressure was elevated, I was like, yeah, I take allergy medication, and it's known to do that. He's like, okay. I said, usually when I see a doctor and I find this, and I'll stop it for a week or two and I'll check my blood pressure. It's generally okay. I said, I'll do that again. He's like, okay. Well, I did. I stopped it. A couple weeks later, and I'm all plugged up. I can't breathe. I'm just miserable. But my blood pressure didn't go down at that time. At that time, my blood pressure was like 220 over 120, and I was in hypertensive crisis. I was like, yeah, that's not a good thing. Went and saw another doctor. She put me on a blood pressure medication. It brought my blood pressure down to normal reading for like 3 days, and then it went back up. I went to her again. She increased the doses. Over a 4-year period, I ended up on 5 blood pressure medications. Every one of those blood pressure medications had a slight risk of gaining weight. That's one of the side effects. Well, I went from 250 pounds to 350 pounds in 4 years. I think it's a little more than a slight risk. That was pretty big. That's pretty significant. I didn't change the way I ate. I was still eating the same foods. I was still eating the same way. But that's what I did. And so I wasn't extremely overweight for very long, but it happened quick. And there's no way I couldn't lose weight. I couldn't get out of it. And then I saw the uh, social media posts by Carnivore Ray talking about getting healthy and losing weight and all the benefits that he had eating just meat. And he didn't give a rip of you did it or not. He didn't give a rip if you did anything. So I just like the way he did stuff. So it made me like think just for a second, like, this guy's crazy. What? Just eating meat? There's no way. And I scrolled past it and I ran into another one of his videos and I kept seeing his videos and then I started seeing Coach Joe or Carnivore Coach Joe. He's a Canadian. He's on TikTok. I kept seeing his videos about the carnivore diet too, and I'm like, this is just crazy. Got me to go to YouTube. Well, actually, I went to Google. I typed it in Google, and then a bunch of stuff popped up on that, and I read a bunch of studies. Then I went to YouTube and I put in the carnivore diet. What pops up? Of course, Dr. Ken Berry. I went through so much of his content. I went through a ton of Dr. Berry's stuff. You search on his channel on a computer, any disease, he's got videos on it for just about everything. And I went through hundreds of his videos. And I went through Dr. Baker. I went through Dr. Cybus. I went through Dr. Chafee, Dr. Hampton, a ton of doctors that I went through their videos to see what they're talking about. And then I found people like Carrie Mann on Homestead How, reversing. The first video I saw of him was him reversing his heart disease, congestive heart failure. That was the first thing I saw from Carrie Mann. And from Carrie Mann, that's where I found Dr. Kiltz. That's where I found Dante Ferrigno. And a couple more, and I was like, Jesus, just doesn't ever stop, does it? So it was 2.5, almost 3 months of time that I went through hours of those videos. I went through so much YouTube videos. I went through Google searches. I read so many studies. If a study was bashing carnivore, to me, it just made it seem more authentic that carnivore was real because you could see how these people were trying to make it so that you weren't going to pay attention to it and they didn't want you to. You could see the bias in it, is what I'm saying. And that's what got me onto this. Uncle Willie, my wife does 6 sets of 3 girl push-ups. We're all in different places in our journey with different goals. Yep. And see, that's doing the girl push-ups, that's with your knees down. They call it a girl push-up, which is, it's still a push-up. It's just the leverage on your body is different. That doesn't hurt my shoulder as much. But if I put my legs up on the couch and do it so that my legs are elevated, that is even less stress on my arm. I don't know why, but that actually works better when I do it like that. But the girl push-ups and the elevated push-ups seem to work better for my arm. If I do a regular push-up, that's what hurts my shoulder. It's just weird. Jeff says my father had dementia and saw how difficult it was to take care of. Yeah, and that too. I can't imagine. Well, I can't because I've actually helped people with this before. with the church that we used to go to when we lived in Minnesota. Well, heavy overweight people having problems with so many different things, and it's terrible. And I couldn't see doing that to my wife. I'm only 59 years old. I was 57 when I started my carnivore diet. I could imagine doing that to my wife, where she would have to take care of me in that condition. Now you see major improvements in my pictures. Yeah, I mean, if you look at this is, I'm throwing up one of my granddaughters playing catch with her. And you can see how big my belly is. And what you don't see is that in that, my belly is actually tense, so it's not as big as it normally is because it's tense because I'm throwing her up. So it's just a normal thing. The top picture on the right there, where I'm on that scooter, that's at our state fair. I couldn't walk for more than 30 minutes at the state fair without extreme pain in my feet. So my wife got me a scooter, which my granddaughter enjoyed because she got to sit down and take a rest. But you can see how big I am. Now, how was this? This was last night. Getting ready to go to a hockey game. My mom's in the hospital. She had a bowel retraction or resection, whatever it's called. She had part of her intestinal tract cut out because it was damaged. And she's actually doing really well right now. So that is very good. But, I've lost a tremendous amount of weight. That was me getting ready for the hockey game. Here's another. This is the one I was having trouble with earlier. Oh, there. For some reason, my thinking here is just, pain. Now, this is before and after. And the picture on the left, you can see, that's Larry calls it. I got Mr. Chin going on there. I got a couple. It was actually really big belly in there. I still have that T-shirt too, World's Greatest Grandpa. It just hangs on me. It's so big. And then on the right there, I was 224 pounds there. And I've lost another, maybe 17 pounds since then. I bought that shirt for my wife, and it fit me. So it does it. There's a huge difference between what I look like now and what I look like 3 years ago, 4 years ago. It's just amazing. And how did I lose that? Oh, this isn't working. It shows up on my screen for just a second and then disappears. How about now? No. Maybe this is what I had issues with earlier. So I did a couple of videos. I did a video this morning. I made some eggs and some sausage for breakfast this morning, and it was actually pretty good. It was delicious stuff. And I put that into the studio, and for whatever reason, it does not want to play it today. I've only done a couple of videos like this here before. Yeah, I don't know what happened to it. Huh? It's like the whole gallery of videos has disappeared. I don't understand where they're living. That's just crazy. Because right here where the videos should be, and I have a lot of videos on here. Every video I do for on YouTube is still on my computer here, but none of them are showing up on this in my folder right now, so I don't know where they went. And that includes the video that I actually downloaded and put into this. It just didn't work. I don't know where I went to, which is just crazy. And then trying to find these things again in here is just, there's just so many videos. There's so much stuff on here. I have a lot of stuff on my computer or my phone too. All the old videos and pictures. Just a lot of stuff. Yeah, and it's not even showing. And then they don't even come in the right order of stuff. But I was going to show a video of the eggs and stuff that I had this morning. And I actually got, which is really impressive for me, I got the signal from my body today that told me I was full. It does not happen very often. I made 6 eggs with 6 sausages this morning. As I finished my 4th sausage and egg combo, and I took a bite of the 5th one, I was like, yeah, I don't want this anymore. It didn't taste good. And I'm like, wait a minute. I just got the signal saying that I'm full and I'm satisfied after 4 eggs and 4 sausage. So I'm impressed with my body right now because it actually did what it's supposed to do. And I've been getting those signals most of the time. Most of the time I can sit down at any time. I can always eat 6 eggs, 6 sausage, 6 eggs or a pound of bacon. I can pound that down any time that I want. I don't generally have that signal that tells me I'm full. And today I did get it. So I'm actually really impressed with my body finally getting that information back. You just went from a 2XL to an XL this week? Aha. Way to go, Uncle Willie. That is so nice. That's non-scale victories like that are amazing. I mistakenly bought a pair of pants last summer. I bought them as I was trying to buy 34 waist by 32 length. I have slight dyslexia at times. I bought a 32 waist by 34 length. And didn't think anything of it, brought it home, threw it up on my dresser and went about my day. And a couple days later, I went to put them on. That's when I realized that I got the wrong size. Now, my wife went to return them to get the right size. Couldn't find the receipt, so they wouldn't take it back. That's the only store in this town that sells that brand of pants. It's their brand. And they wouldn't return them. They wouldn't exchange them without a receipt. So I said, fine, we'll just keep them. I said, I'm wearing 34s now. And these pants are really inexpensive. And I'll just buy another pair of the 34s. And 3 months later, I went to try them on, and I could actually get them on. They were still, snug. But then it wasn't less than a month later, I got them on, and I was able to get them buttoned up and zipped up, and they were comfortable. Non-scale victories. My weight hadn't changed 2 or 3 pounds in that time, but my body had changed. And that's one of the things that's amazing is you can change your body composition. You can lose fat and you can gain muscle and lose inches on your body still. As when I was doing the Beachbody workouts, that's one of the big things that was talked about a lot in the community is how the difference between a pound of fat and a pound of muscle. They're both a pound. They both weigh the same, but they take up different space on your body. And use a Kleenex. Say this is a pound of fat. That's a pound of muscle. It takes up half the space, right? So if you lose a pound of fat and gain a pound of muscle, you're still going to lose inches or millimeters or centimeters or however you want to look at it. So it's not all about the scale sometimes. It's important to take measurements. Like I took measurements around my belly button, the biggest part of my belly. I tried to take that measurement when I first started the carnivore diet. I couldn't. The tape measure I have for measuring goes up to 60 inches, and my belly was bigger. So I never did do it. I got frustrated and said, nope, not going to do it. A month later, I was at 58. A few weeks ago, the last time I measured, I was at 36. It's less than half of my height, which that's, if you listen to like Dr. Barry, that puts me in a healthy weight, a healthy body for my size. So I'm actually really excited about that because that is, to me, is freaking awesome. What I want to see, it's where I want to be. And being at 207 pounds to 216 pounds, it's actually not a bad weight for me. It fits my body, I think, very well. Do I want to get below it? Yes, I do. I do want to get down into a normal weight. Do I have the patience to do it? I do. Because I know the way I eat, the way I'm living now, it's going to happen. It's just a matter of time. And yes, I can be impatient, but I can also have the patience to do it because I've done it before. Yeah, satiety signals are cool. I do. And it's amazing that I actually got it this morning. I'm so surprised. But it's really cool. I have not been getting that signal. And the hunger signal, the ghrelin, I can live with that. I can deal with that. Doing fasting, I can deal with that. Doing OMAD, I can deal with it. It's not a big deal. But it's the hunger or the signal that says that you're full. I don't get that very often. And that was really nice to be able to recognize it this morning where I went to take the bite of that next one. I'm like, it just doesn't taste right. And then realize it's a signal to stop. So it's a non-scale victory for me because my hormones are actually working right. And that's what I wanted. That's where I've been trying to get to so I can, continue to be healthy, continue to lose some more weight. So now, what are you guys eating today? Anybody just doing an OMAD? Or you're doing 2MAD, eating 3 meals a day? Okay, this actually took a picture of what I had for breakfast. These are the 6 eggs and then breakfast sausage underneath each of the eggs. These were fried sunny side up, and I just threw a lid on the pan with a little bit of water in the open spots there to help steam it so that the yolk stayed mostly runny. The very first one on the pan, which is on the left, middle of the page, that one got 2 done. But everything else was good. So that was actually pretty nice. I love eggs like that. You've been obese your whole life. You're going to try to be lean for once. And if you listen to Dr. Kiltz, obesity and being overweight does not cause disease, but it's everything else that comes with it that does that. It's the insulin resistance and it's the poisons from the plants that cause that. You go into a famine and you're too lean, then you're in trouble. The body's supposed to have so much fat on it. It's just a matter of how much. And being on a carnivore diet, eating more of a strict carnivore diet, you're going to naturally lean out to where you should be. In the whole process of this, what we should be aiming for is the ability to eat what we need to eat in the seasons of what we're supposed to be eating. So for 3/4 of the year, you should be eating basically meat. In the fall, when it's available for the few weeks that you have it, that's when you should be eating, or that's when you can eat the fruits and the vegetables as they are ripe. Because the sugars and the fruits and the vegetables have a specific job. It's just like dairy. It signals your body to store fat. That's why it has the carbohydrate and the sugar content, because that tells your body to produce insulin, store the excess as fat for an upcoming winter when your food sources are going to be harder to find. If I can get to that point where I can actually tolerate a few fruits and tolerate a few vegetables, that might be actually really good. You just make 5 pounds of ground beef. Oh, that sounds really good. I've always enjoyed ground beef. You're shooting for sub 15% body fat. I actually had never set a body fat goal. I've only set a weight loss goal. And I figure my body fat will go where it needs to go to when I get there. And whatever my body fat is, I'm all right with that. I could do the neck measurements and the waist and stuff like that and put it into the calculator to figure out what my actual body fat is. I've done it before, and my body fat actually, I think the last time I did it, it's probably been 9 months, and my body fat was pretty close to a normal body fat percentage, not an overweight body fat percentage, which was surprising to me. But that was based on my neck and my waist, and I think there was one other measurement I used on it. Height, age, all that stuff. So, but it was still in the 20s. I haven't been into the teens, I know, since I was doing a strict diet with the Beachbody workouts. Then I was 212 pounds, and I was working out 6 days a week, and I was very lean. But I could not tell you what my measurements were. I used to have them on the Beachbody website, and they changed all of that. And they went away from so many things that they used to do on their site that got people to come to it and do stuff. Yeah. I used to be a Beachbody coach. I did that kind of stuff. I had groups. I led groups to get healthy and to lose weight and stuff like that. And then I ended up having my issues with my heart, and I stopped doing all that stuff. Just never got back into it. And that's, you think back here just to the start of this year's stream, Heather talked about certification. And I got a certification from Kills Health. I am a Kills Health coach now. I took that course, the second course, starting in October, and we just got over it here, finished it a couple weeks ago. And I just got my certification and my certificate yesterday, so they'll be actually going on the wall either here or here. So it'll be hanging up there shortly. Yeah. So I do have this. So I took the time. I did, of course. I learned a lot. Actually, it was a good course. Never had a six pack. Actually, Uncle Willie, correct you on that. You have a six pack, and this is a joke. Big and as it is, you have a six pack. It's just surrounded by a keg right now. That used to be a joke I used to tell people all the time, especially when I was losing weight, doing workouts before. I always joked I always had a six pack. It's just right now it's surrounded by a keg because I used to drink a lot of beer. But that's what I like to do. I like to do. Have a little bit of fun, make a few jokes. Oh. We're going to be going up and we're going to be, thank you, Uncle Willie. Appreciate it. We're going to go up and see my mom in the hospital here in just a few minutes. Hey, this shows that I've got a couple of people next watching or listening to this live stream. Is this working at all for you guys? Can you make comments on here and can you chat? Or I don't. I heard they were getting information from X. So, all right. Well, it's been an hour. It's Larry. Our Quest group is live. She started probably 7 or 8 minutes ago. And live right now. If you want to continue on and you need any additional help, this is one of the best groups out there. That's Larry from Carnivore Quest. He has a clickable link in the chat. YouTube, I don't know if it comes out that way in action or not. I don't know if you can click on that or if it shows up there. But you can try. YouTube is embedding ads in live streams. It is annoying as yes. Now, I do have another YouTube account that I watch stuff on, and I don't pay to not have the ads on it. And it is annoying as hell the way YouTube is throwing ads into it and how often they're in it. That's one of the reasons why I paid originally to get rid of the ads on this account that I use now. But on my other one, I don't pay for it, and I can really tell. It's just maddening how many ads YouTube throws into videos. So maybe they're going to start paying the creators more money. I doubt it, but wouldn't that be cool? Actually get paid to do something like this here. I don't. But it would be cool. But if you want to continue on with the conversation and talk to a great group of people, head over to the YouTube channel for Carnivore Quest. Go hang out with Larry and the group at Carnivore Quest for the next hour or so. It's a great group right there. They've helped me tremendously in my journey. And I will be back tomorrow morning at the same time, 10 a.m. Central, to continue on the conversation. You all have a great day, and we will see you